Hey everyone! So I wanted to talk today a little bit about my fertility journey. I have two beautiful daughters, but I have, in the span of time before and after them, have had 5 miscarriages. I miscarried when I was 19. It was the first time I ever had sex, and we used protection. We used a condom, and somehow I ended up pregnant. I miscarried that baby at 7 weeks. And then my husband and I got pregnant with twins, and I lost the first twin at 10 weeks and the second at 16 weeks. And by the time I lost the baby at 16 weeks, it was too far along for a D&C, so I had to deliver my son. But then I was fortunate enough to have Natalie, and then a year later I had Katie. And then my husband and I started trying again to have another baby in May of 2011, and we have had 3 miscarriages. And for whatever reason, we have had secondary infertility, trying to have another baby. So we found out with the twins, we found out that I have a gene mutation called MTHFR. It has something to do with clotting in the placenta. I don't know a ton about it. All I know is I have to take a baby aspirin every day that I'm pregnant, and it keeps blood clots from forming in the placenta. And boy, did I wish I would have known that ahead of time, so I didn't lose 2 babies due to a freaking baby aspirin every day. But, you know, then I wouldn't have Natalie and Katie, and everything happens for a reason. And nobody wants to hear that in the moment, though. So, you know, I've told all my sisters to make sure that when they're ready to have a baby, that they get tested for that, because that's a silly reason to lose a baby. So yeah, I got pregnant in March of 2005 with the twins, and then I lost it, like I said, 10 weeks and 16 weeks. And then we got pregnant with Natalie in April. We got pregnant with Natalie in April of 2006, and she was born in December. She was born via C-section, scheduled C-section. They estimated her to be about 10 pounds. And even though I am a large person, I have a very small pelvis. So delivering a baby that big was going to be difficult and traumatic. So we decided to schedule a C-section. When she was a couple of months old, you know, she came out holding her head up. That child was so strong. And everything was moving too fast. And I thought I was the greatest mom ever, because she was an excellent baby. She was such a good baby. So we got pregnant with Katie, and we got pregnant with her. I found out that I was pregnant with her Memorial Day weekend. And literally I was walking into it's a funny story. My aunt built a house, and every time I went to her house, I started my period. I have no idea why. I would go at varying times. It wouldn't even be the same time each month. It would just, out of the blue, I would start bleeding every time I went to her house. Well, I went to her house for Memorial Day on that Monday, and I did not start my period. So on the way home, I stopped at the Dollar Tree, because, you know, I didn't know about internet cheapies at the time. So I stopped at the Dollar Tree to get a test, and the lady was closing, and I had $2 in my hand. And I said, I just need a pregnancy test. And she brought me in, and she got me pregnancy tests. And I went home, and I peed, and I was pregnant. So Katie came early too, if you're doing the math in your head. The Katie came early. She was 6 weeks early. She was actually due February 6th, and she was born December 29th. So she was quite a bit early. She was also born by C-section because they were only a year apart, and hers was an emergency C-section. My water broke in the middle of the night, and I drove myself and Natalie to the hospital, and her birth was a very funny story. So I'll do another video on that one. But they moved the emergency room in between me having babies, and I'm walking down the street at 2 o'clock in the morning pushing a stroller, just leaking everywhere because my water broke. It was, yeah, whatever. But yeah, Katie came early and she was on a CPAP machine for 1 day only. But she was in the NICU for 7 days. She didn't want to eat. And to this day, she still doesn't eat. This child just doesn't eat. But, you know, we had her on a feeding tube for a long time because even when they would pull the feeding tube and we would try to feed her, she just wouldn't do it. So she was in there for 7 days because of that. But she was born 6 pounds, 6 ounces. She was a hardy preemie. So she would have been very large had she gone to term. But having 2 little, someone had asked me had left a comment and asked me how it was having them together as babies. And it was great. It was hard. Don't get me wrong. It was very hard, but you get into a flow, you know, it's, you diaper one, you diaper the other one. You get one dressed, you get the other one. You know, they helped each other potty train, and Natalie taught Katie how to tie her shoes because Katie wouldn't listen to me. But you know, they've always come up like that, and I'm lucky that they're very different people. So we really don't have competitive things. You know, they don't compete with each other. It doesn't occur to them to compete with each other. They like different things and they like to play together, and they don't fight. We homeschool and they're together all day long, 24 hours a day. They share a bedroom, and when they go to bed at night, they still talk in bed for at least 2 hours, just talking and giggling. And what have they not said to each other in the whole day that they need to say to each other right then? But they do, and they love it. So I love that my kids are so close together in age. And now that we have been trying to have another baby, we wanted to do the same thing. We wanted to back them again. We wanted them a year apart. 1, because I just love being pregnant, but 2, that way they'll have their own best friend. You know, we moved into this house and the girls had the option of having their own bedrooms. Nope, they wanted to share a room, and they still share a room. And that's one of my threats when they're just being really horrible, is you will knock that off or I will change the schoolroom into another bedroom and you will sleep in separate rooms. And they just toe the line. So, I mean, it works great for us. And I had every intention of back-to-backing another set of babies. And, you know, we decided since we're doing this on one income, we were going to cloth diaper. And I have a huge stash of cloth diapers and still no baby. So, yeah, we'll see about that for that part of our fertility journey. But we miscarried in July of 2012 and then September of 2012 and then again September of 2014. Yeah, 2014. So, and then we can't get pregnant and we don't know why. I'm fertile Myrtle. I was pregnant for 3 years pretty much, you know, between the twins, then Natalie, then Katie. And, you know, it took us 4 months of trying to get pregnant with Natalie, 5 months of trying to get pregnant with Katie, and maybe it wasn't even that long. It took us 4 months to get pregnant with Natalie and then 4 months to get pregnant with Katie. With the twins, we got pregnant the second time we had sex. So that's why we got married. But it's worked out, you know, it's been 10 years and you know, we got divorced and we got back together and there's a reason for it. So, you know, and it would still be nice. It would be really nice to have another couple of kids. But, you know, we enjoy the children that we have and they are precious and I love them and want to clink their heads together and, you know, because they're crazy children, but they're strong-willed and have good heads on their shoulders and they're smart and creative and wonderful. So if I never have another baby, I did good with the 2 that I have. So, but yeah, there you go. That's our fertility journey. Thanks so much for watching and like and subscribe below.